Olá, pessoal, muito boa noite, sejam todos muito bem-vindos a mais um A Hora da China, essa live super especial que a gente faz aqui. A gente estava falando em off, 39ª semana, 39ª edição da Hora da China, esse programa que a gente faz toda semana para falar sobre empreendedorismo, inovação, tecnologia, novos negócios, tudo que tem acontecido na China e que de alguma maneira pode impactar a gente aqui no Brasil. Então, sejam todos muito bem-vindos, boa noite. Hoje é uma live, mais uma vez, especial, todas são, mas para quem já nos acompanha há algum tempo, sabe que a gente está em 2021 testando novos formatos, experimentando coisas novas, é muito a forma como a gente gosta de fazer as coisas, e um desses formatos é o que a gente chamou de A Hora da China Go Global, que nada mais é que trazer convidados, pessoas relevantes do ecossistema chinês, enfim, que estão na China, e que falam outro idioma que não o português. Então, é uma forma de trazer um conhecimento diferente também para vocês, explorar um pouco mais, expandir as possibilidades para trazer convidados muito legais. E hoje é a segunda edição da Hora da China Go Global e a gente já vai apresentar o nosso convidado de hoje. Então, pessoal, essa por ser uma live Go Global e o nosso convidado falar inglês, a gente vai mudar o nosso idioma oficial aqui para o inglês. Vamos fazer a live majoritariamente na língua inglesa, então eu espero que todos possam continuar com a gente aí, acompanhar, porque eu tenho certeza que vocês vão gostar do conteúdo, um tema super relevante, que é sustentabilidade. Então, estou super curioso para ouvir sobre esse tema na China. Eu vou começar as apresentações aqui com o Win, passo para a Camila. Camila faz a introdução do nosso convidado de hoje. Então, Win, boa noite para você.
Boa noite, Leal. Boa noite a todos que estão nos assistindo nesse momento. E olá para quem está nos assistindo em algum outro, uma outra zona de horário e outros momentos. Hoje a gente vai falar sobre um tema super interessante que acho que a gente aborda muito pouco aqui. A Camila, na verdade, é quase a nossa advocate sobre sustentabilidade. Ela sempre traz esse ponto, só que dificilmente a gente entra com profundidade. E hoje a gente trouxe um super especialista exatamente para poder falar sobre esse assunto. So, Emmanuel, thank you for joining us. And I'm speaking from São Paulo. Good morning for you, and thank you a lot for joining us. And today will be very special because sustainability is an issue that we are always curious about, but we never had a discussion that go deeper into this. So thank you for joining us. And Camila, good morning for you. Thank you for joining us again.
Good morning, Ian. Good morning, Leal. Emmanuel, thank you so much for being here. Good morning to everyone that's also watching us. It's such a pleasure. And I have to tell you, Emmanuel, since I've been here in China, BOOMI has been like a brand I have followed, I have accompanied. And so it's been such a pleasure to see the evolution of what BOOMI has become. So that you all know, I met BOOMI when BOOMI sold some sustainable products. And today, it's more like of a marketplace business model, right? And so it has inside the e-commerce more than 50 different brands within the sustainable ecosystem in China. And so they're all purpose-driven brands. And I find that very beautiful to see in so many senses and see this evolution. And so congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being here. I think that sustainability, as you said, has been a great issue and a theme that has been in fact being driven by the government, right? When we talk about the purpose from the government, how that's going to be pushed forward. And so this is why the theme of today is sustainability, the next booming industry, with all regards to what BOOMI in fact is. And so I find that also amazing. I would like, Emmanuel, for you to present yourself, tell us a bit about BOOMI so that we can start this conversation about why sustainability is in fact the next booming industry.
Sure. First of all, thank you guys so much for inviting me. It's an honor to be here. I guess good evening to most of you out there. Right now it's still in the morning. It's 8 a.m. So my name is Emmanuel. I'm from Indonesia and I am the founder of BOOMI. BOOMI is an e-commerce platform that connects that connects users and consumers to local, eco-friendly, and credible businesses. So currently we have around 55, nearly 60 brands on our platform. All of them are local. Number one, they're always local. We never have any foreign entities that are on our platform. All of them are producing sustainable products, and all of them are credible because a part of our system is that we vet every single product one by one. We don't vet every brand, we vet every product. So some brands may have some products that we do not allow on our platform. And I think this is something that our consumers really like. Because one of the problems we have here in China for sustainability is credibility. Sometimes we don't really know what is sustainable, or people claim it's green, but is it actually green? That's one of the biggest issues we have here. And that's kind of like the issue we're solving. And that's why when people shop on our platform, they can really trust that we've checked everything all the way to manufacturing, their sourcing, and their production and delivery. So some of the things that we've caught here is we've had a brand before that were using a factory that had child labor. And because of our process, we actually were able to find that out, and we instantly took out that brand. So not all brands are like that, but unfortunately, we were able to find a couple of those things.
Emmanuel, that's so interesting, because when we talk about sustainability, it's such a transversal topic and such a broad topic, right? Because some people actually like associate sustainability to, I don't know, packaging or I don't know, any specific issue regarding CO2 emission. But when we talk about sustainability, we're talking often about a chain, right? It's there are many steps into this chain of being sustainable. How do you deal with this? So how do you ensure that you're sustainable in every steps of this chain of what sustainability is and its transversal meaning?
So for us, sustainability is more of a way of life. It's not really a goal that we're trying to attain. A lot of people think like sustainability, zero waste means like no waste at all in your entire supply chain, or no waste at all in your entire life. But we believe that that is quite impossible. We believe more that sustainability is about improving your supply chain bit by bit, every single step. So in our company, we do a very deep dive on every single brand supply chain, but they're never perfect, and they will never be perfect. But we always tell them, hey, let's say you source sugar or source like creams from, let's say, Turkey. Are you able to, let's say, find it in China? And from there, are you able to find ones that are organic? So we kind of take it step by step. And this is something that we encourage all of our brands, that we look at their supply chain, we see, okay, you have all these good things, all these bad things. Most of it is good, so you can come on our platform, but please try and improve all these other bad things so that we can all improve together. So that's kind of like how we take on it. It is nearly impossible to be 100% sustainable. That's the fact. But our mentality is more of trying to improve our supply chain every single day instead of trying to be 100% perfect.
Super.
That's great. Emmanuel, last year we made a coverage from the 11 event, and one of the hot topics on that time was sustainability, because the amount of packages and everything that involves the 11 it's incredible. And, Camila was very smart and bring to us to some videos talking about BOOMI and the event you guys made in Shanghai, I think. It was in Shanghai, right? And yes, it was like the opposite. It's an offline event. And so I'm going to put the video on here. It's in Portuguese, so for those who are wanting to understand better what in Portuguese, it's an opportunity. So I'm going to put here, and you will find out what BOOMI is in Portuguese. I'm going to put here right now.
Gera por volta de 300 mil toneladas de lixo em embalagem em apenas um dia. Com Considerando essa informação, a gente decidiu criar um conceito diferente, em que a gente faz diversas promoções offline e absolutamente nenhuma promoção online. A BOOMI é um e-commerce com várias marcas locais que sempre trazem um propósito social ou ambiental. A gente conta com mais de 40 marcas. A nossa ideia é cobrir todas as suas necessidades diárias de forma sustentável. A gente faz diversos tipos de atividade para criar essa consciência na comunidade chinesa. Por exemplo, screenings de documentários uma vez por mês. A gente fez no mês passado em Pequim, Hangzhou e em Shanghai a gente faz todos os meses. Cada mês tem um tema diferente. O mês passado foi o consumo de plástico, em outros meses tivemos o consumo exagerado de comida. O nosso maior público fica em Shanghai, então esse tipo de projeto, como o do 11 do 11, é bem sucedido, tem bastante gente, porque a maioria da nossa comunidade está aqui. Apesar de sermos um e-commerce, mesmo quando a gente está enviando os produtos que são comprados online, a gente tem essa consciência com a sustentabilidade. O plástico bolha a gente substitui por esse tipo de papel que estica. As embalagens são sempre em papelão e até a fita é em papel craft com uma cola que é ativada por água. Esse tipo de embalagem ele custa de 8 a 9 vezes mais caro do que as embalagens comuns, como plástico bolha e outros tipos de fita. Mas mesmo assim a gente decide escolher por esse tipo de embalagem exatamente pelo quesito de sustentabilidade.
So great. I'm going to put a question here from the audience, and I think it's totally related with the video from Louise. She's asking, do the Chinese people, government, show any kind of resistance towards the sustainability subject products? How do you see that in the Chinese people first, and of course, all the initiatives that the government eventually are thinking or doing in this area?
So yes, I think there is still some resistance from the Chinese people, but I think that's just a matter of time. Sustainability here in China is still a very, very early stage industry. There are not a lot of players. A lot of them are still very, very small, and a lot of them are still foreign based. So a lot of the founders of the brands on our platform are also expats. I think it's a part of a process. It's kind of like about 20 years ago, China was still a developing country. It was quite poor, and now they're quite developed. And I think the next stage is that the people or the community here in China, they're going to start first having more time to think about things. And second, they will have more exposure from different parts of the world, so they will be more educated about sustainability. So at the moment, yes, it's not really resistance. It's more of they are not really aware, or they haven't had enough exposure on sustainability. So that is why a lot of our business has a lot of like documentary screening, as Giovanna said. That was Giovanna from the video. We do screenings, networking events, any speeches, panels, nearly every single month. We run around 4 to 5 events every month, specifically on trying to expose people to sustainability. In terms of the government, we have not seen any kind of resistance from the government. The government has been quite supportive on sustainability. We've actually gotten pretty good deals for markets and events because we're in the sustainability industry. There's a lot of like subsidies, and they also can give us different areas of land for lower prices if it's supporting sustainability. And the government has always been pushing for for the people to be more conscious of themselves. So, for example, in Shanghai, we have this thing called 垃圾分类, which is like the separation of trash. So I think starting around a year ago, every single individual in Shanghai were told that they had to separate that trash from the wet trash, the dry trash, the hazardous trash, and the recyclable trash. And if you don't do that, you get fined. And they actually do fine you because I didn't do it right once and I got fined. So they're really serious about this kind of stuff. They also recently banned all plastic straws and plastic bags for delivery of food. I haven't really seen it implemented 100%. I do still receive some plastic sometimes in our food delivery, but I have seen videos of police going around to stores checking that if they have removed their plastic. So it is still a very early stage, but I think the direction is very clear. The government really wants to be more sustainable, really wants to reduce their waste. And at the same time, I think it's just a matter of time before the people also follow and the people also understand that we can't just carelessly consume everything we want.
Emma, let me ask you one thing. How does this current mindset that you mentioned of the Chinese population in general match with, let's call it, historical concern of the Chinese culture with the nature, like our ancestors? I am Chinese from Chinese family, so I would say our ancestor, our past family, they have a huge connection with the nature, with everything, like from simple things like the natural medicine, things like that. How does this match? Because it feels like it's a totally break from the past. I have this feeling. And does it make sense, or do you think that we are maybe recovering from what we were doing in the past?
I think it's all because of technology. A lot of people in big cities, we kind of get disconnected from nature. I think there is a trend starting now. I've seen a lot of trends of young Chinese people that are using their traditional clothing to go to work. There's a trend here right now. And there's also a trend of people. Sustainability, a lot of the time here in the health industry is very common now. So it's all about like Zen, having balance in your life, going for a trip, don't overwork, don't do the Jojo Liu, the 996. That's working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. So I think culture and their perspectives on sustainability and on life is starting to change to go back in the past when we were all more connected to nature, not just Chinese. I think every single culture, we were very connected to nature. And because of capitalism, globalization, the rise of technology, we start to see us being more distant from technology. So one example I really like to point out how distant we are now is on Alipay, there's this application called Ant Forest, and it's really great. You can actually plant trees according to how many steps you walk, if you use the subway with Alipay, if you use Alipay. So it's great that you are kind of like helping to plant trees, but at the same time, it's kind of like a false interaction with nature. And I think technology kind of has given us that there's a false interaction between us and nature because of technology. And sometimes it's great to just don't look at your phone, take off your technology, and just go in the garden and just sit there for 1 hour. So that's what I think about this issue.
It's actually quite interesting as you mentioned. So in when you pay something, when you order an LMA, which is a food it's everything delivery from Alibaba Group, and you can choose whether you'd like or not to have your cutlery, so knives and forks and spoons and things like that. If you choose not to have your cutleries, there's an option, and they'll give you like credits on your Ant Forest, and that comes back to LMA. grandma, and you can spend that, like your coupons, you can spend that on future deliveries and so on.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting in the sense, as you said, like we need to have the topic of sustainability as something mainstream, right? And so I think it does help in that, not necessarily to the connection to nature, but maybe to the connection of what being sustainable should be more like. So little things throughout your day, in your routine, daily apps that could always remind you of the importance of what we're doing. Interestingly, you mentioned about the trash separation, and I saw an episode which was very, very interesting. And so this has been recent in Shanghai, right? Maybe 1 year and a half, right? Like the trash separation. And they're, as Emmanuel mentioned, they're very strict about it, right? You have to put your trash in, and there are 4 different types of trashes. And it's not like a glass, plastic, just like we have it in Brazil. It's a bit different. We have like the wet food, the hazard products, everything that is recyclable, and all the rest, right? So this is how we separate here. And there was a kid that she was coming back from school, and she wanted to put her trash in the right place, right? And she's like, "Hey, Grandma, I want to put my trash here in the right place." And Grandma's like, "No, it's fine. You can put it anywhere." And the kid is like, no, I learned it in school. This is very important. And Grandma's like, "No, we've done it like this forever." And nothing has never happened, right? And so I find this very interesting today, because we see the new generation educating the older generation upon like things like trash, right? And how sustainability is important. And I'd like to know from you if you think that this trend has been motivated and pushed by younger generation itself, or not at all.
I think it's 100% pushed by the younger generation, just like everything else, everywhere else in the world as well. The Gen Z, so that's individuals born after 2000, I think. So the Gen Zs, they really care about social impact. I think there's a survey recently, around 60% of people from the Gen Z purchase things because they have a social impact. The other thing that's also interesting is that sustainability here works a little different than around the world, in the fact that people buy sustainability not because of sustainability. So we did a survey of around 280 Chinese consumers here in China, aging from 25 to 35. And we asked them, why are you buying sustainability? Or like, what would make you buy sustainability? And 61% of them actually said they buy sustainability because of status, means like to get face.
Really?
Because it's kind of this idea that if you're in sustainability, it's like you're more educated, you're more aware of things. So in the actual reality, like our marketing strategies is very similar to kind of like luxury goods. You know, like how luxury goods might give you status. We try to replicate that. How can we give status in sustainability? Because that's what the Chinese consumers are looking at. They don't really see like a bamboo toothbrush because of the bamboo toothbrush. They see it because it's cool. It gave me status. It makes me look smart. Like it makes me think I am educated. I'm trying to help the planet, and that's something cool in the new generation. So I definitely think the new generation is definitely trying to teach their old generation how to be cool, because family is still very important here in China. So if my family is more sustainable than your family, that means my family is cooler than your family. Do you know what I mean? And it all ties down to mianzi, giving face, their status, and their education level.
Yeah, Emma, this is very interesting because I remember a research a few years ago in Brazil asking people if they would pay a premium for sustainable products. They all say they would pay, but they also confirm that actually it's just a matter of status or goodwill or not reality. So in the reality shows that they were only willing to pay the same price or proximum to the regular price of non-sustainable product. So what you're saying is maybe not for the same reason, but similar behavior. just that sustainable products has other kind of images. So people that are attracted to that, not because that the product is sustainable, but that will give a different image for them. Like maybe for the people that responded, that it's an image that they're doing something to preserve the environment, but actually they're not looking for this, but they just want to say that they're concerned, right?
Yes. And sometimes going back to in China, a lot of brands do claim this, that they're trying to preserve the environment, they're trying to tap in that feeling. But there's so many brands here in China that are actually not doing what they're saying, or their production is actually not sustainable. So that was kind of like why I started my own company, because I got into that trap. When I arrived here in China, I just wanted a bamboo toothbrush. That was simply just it. And I purchased a couple on Taobao. So Taobao is like Amazon for China. And I bought a couple of brands. And when they all arrived, the toothbrush was actually packaged in plastic, with the plastic wrap, with the plastic bag, with the box, with all the tape. So I thought that didn't make any sense. Like, I'm trying to reduce plastic, but I feel like buying this bamboo toothbrush actually brought in more plastic than if I went downstairs and bought a plastic toothbrush. So it's kind of like greenwashing. It's not very clear here. They're just trying to take advantage of the sustainability aspect of marketing. So that's something that we're trying to refrain from doing.
Emma, you're talking and I'm thinking, of course, it's clear that we have an education opportunity or issue, I don't know, because as Camila said, if the younger kids are trying to teach their grandfathers, probably they're not looking for the status thing. So they are more genuine about the sustainability topic. But what you're saying is that teenagers, maybe a little bit older, they are looking for status. So I don't know if you can predict in how many years maybe this kind of approach will start to make a network effect, and the younger people today will be the game changers about sustainability in China in a genuine way. How do you see that?
I personally always tell my investors around 4 to 5 years. That's the target I think China will take to really go into sustainability. And why I say that is because the Gen Z at the moment, they're around 20 years old, the oldest one. In around 5 years, they'll be around 25. So that's when they start entering our target market. Yes, sustainable products are a little bit more expensive. So you need to at least have a job and, maybe live by yourself, live in a big city. So in around 5 years, these individuals who are passionate about social impact, they're going to start entering into that stage of their life where they are going to buy things by themselves. And because of their upbringing, because of their education, because of what they believe in, I believe in around 4 to 5 years, they will start to see, I want to make the right choice. I want to consume consciously. So I think that's kind of like the critical mass of when sustainability will be a much, much bigger issue, a much bigger trend here in China. And that's why I'm here. I am a foreigner, so there's a lot of competition if you're entering into a very busy industry. So the good thing about entering right now is that there are not a lot of competitors. I would say there are no competitors at the moment for us. There's a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is you can keep going at your own pace. The bad thing is when a competitor comes in, can you keep up with the Chinese pace? So those are kind of the things that I'm always thinking about. A competitor will come. I'm 100% sure. I just don't know when. And we just need to keep going and making sure that we have the lead at the moment, and how do we maintain that lead moving forward.
Emma, I'm super impressed that you can say that Gen Z will already be the generation that can speed up this change in China, because if we think that Gen Z grew up in the 2010, So all this generation, so they're maybe the first generation that is totally digital, and so I don't know how much really they were, at least in China, they had the education, all this about sustainability from their parents, because probably their parents, they're around 40 or 50. So they already learned it, or at least had education from the past, let's say, past mindset, not really concerning. So this is a really, really fast change. So hope that really happens.
Yeah, that's my hope as well.
Yeah, but I'm super impressed about this.
Thank you.
But
Camila,
I think, yeah.
Sorry,
Yes.
I have a question for you, because
here we go.
you chose the title of the live show tonight.
Today. We did.
I don't know how to.
Emmanuel and I.
Okay,
yes,
perfect.
yes.
So you said the next booming industry in China, and Emmanuel was saying that it's an early stage moment. So to really boom the market, I think Emmanuel is perfect. You're at the right place in the right moment, educating the market, educating the people to this whole change. So to really boom the topic sustainability, why did you chose that this industry is today the next booming industry in China?
Is it for me? Is it no? Is it for me or for Emmanuel?
For both.
Okay.
You can start.
So Emmanuel, you're the guest now. Yeah. Just like what I was gonna say now is completely related to what In and Emmanuel were saying, and it completely answers your question. I think.
Okay. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait, is it me or you first? Okay, I'll go.
It's you. Sorry.
Okay. So what we need why I identify sustainability as the booming industry. So my mentality is when I came to China, I actually didn't know what the hell I was doing. I graduated from college in the US in 2018, and 2 years before that, I came to China to visit as a student for a study away program. And that was the first time I came to China in nearly 15 or 16 years. And when I saw Shanghai, I was like, what is this? Like, what is this country? Because all this time I've been hearing all the bad things about China and all that kind of stuff, but I've never seen it from my own eyes. And when I came to Shanghai, I was like, okay, I don't care whatever it is. I just want to come to China. Doesn't matter. Because I believe that America is already very developed. They're very far ahead at the moment. And China is kind of second at the moment. So the potential for China is much greater than the potential for the US. There's more space for China to catch up to the US than for the US to grow even more. And that's kind of like how I saw it. So when I came into Shanghai, I was actually in the cryptocurrency industry. So I worked in blockchain technology. But I was only there for around 6 to 7 months when I discovered the sustainability industry. So I do have some numbers here. So what I really like about the sustainable industry is because at the moment, the sustainability industry in China back in 2018 was around 150 to 200 million US dollars. So that's the current size of the sustainability industry. In the US, currently, by the end of this year, the US market will reach around 150 billion US dollars. So you can really see the difference between China and US in terms of sustainability. The sustainability industry, there's a huge gap. All the other industries, the gap is not that wide yet. So I'm trying to see the potentials in different industries. And I identified that sustainability, the industry, the potential is very, 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 very big. But there are still a lot of problems. So the first issue we need to solve is the supply. There's actually a 52% higher demand for sustainability product than there is supply. So people are actually looking for sustainability products, but there are not enough suppliers. There are not enough brands supplying these products. So number one is try and to increase supply, which means more entrepreneurs, more products, more types of services and things like that. The second thing is to create the influencer community. So we've been in the industry for around 2 years, and KOLs, KOCs, and influencer marketing here in China is very, very important. But what we've discovered is sustainability, there are not many KOLs. We've tried very, very hard to try to reach out to certain KOLs that are working in sustainability. I think we found 3 at the end. So there's a potential there that we also need to build. So in BOOMI, we also have our own BOOMI ambassador program, where we actually find really talented videographers, editors, and we train them and we teach them about sustainability so they can become our KOLs and KOCs for sustainability. The third thing that could happen, that needs to happen, I think, is the government. I think the government is still quite slow. I would say slow, but quite reserved in their policies for sustainability. And why I say that is because I think they have big plans for sustainability, but they know that if they gave everything at once, the Chinese people would just be, what is this? Like, what do I do with it? So I think they're taking small steps, trying to teach the society, and I think bigger steps will come. So for example, they want to be carbon neutral by 2030. They're trying to ban engine cars, I think, by 2030 as well. So the next few years is very important for sustainability. And I think more and more policies for sustainability will come. So I kind of see all the lines kind of align in around 4 or 5 years. The people will be ready. Hopefully we can have our KOL marketing, hopefully more supply for sustainable products, and of course the government at the back pushing everyone together. So that's kind of why I see sustainability as the next booming industry here in China.
Emma.
Beautiful. No, sorry. Just a compliment, because when we're talking about sustainability and we're talking about consumer products, we're often putting consumers at the end or at the center or wherever you want. And I think that we have today the knowledge that putting people at the center was important, but that today we have to put the ecosystem at the center. We're talking about a different type of stage that we're getting into. And so when we're talking about consumer products, okay, great, that does have a huge impact. But when we go beyond the chain and we see the social responsibility or environmental responsibility of what companies should be accomplishing, that is might be a huger impact as compared to consumer products, right? And so we have to talk about the chain. And so coming back to that booming industry, we see today these 3 spheres that are together working for that sustainability to be achieved. And so consumers are savvy for sustainability, be it for status or be it for social and environmental consciousness. I think that these 2 will come as far as we're able to make the prices go mainstream, right? We are able to have consumers thinking about that consciously and not necessarily for social status. We have enterprises and we have the government, right? When we have the 3 of them pushing for sustainability, that is the only moment when in my perspective, we're going to see the real changes and what's really going to happen towards the inclination of sustainability in the society. And I do think that when it comes to this matter, I think that companies, I don't think that it's a nice to have to be sustainable. I think that they should be thinking about even not only being sustainable, but how can I contribute positively to the environment? So that will arrive. And I think that these movements that have been going on, I don't see them as low, to be very honest. Like, I've seen a huge amount of improvement since I've been here in China. And I think that when you're changing habits, you have to change them slowly. You do have to change them slowly. Not because acquiring a new habit is hard, but because leaving behind your old habits is something really hard to do. And so this is why I think this is like the next industry, in fact. And it's going to take these 3 spheres to make it booming the way we want to make it boom as well.
Perfect. Guys, let me put some words in Chinese here in this conversation, brought by our super special Chinese teacher here, Professora Hsieh from Pula Muralha. The topic is sustainability, and we know that China is widely known about the pollution and everything. So let's see what Professor Hsieh have for us tonight.
你好，钟飞，你好 In， 你好 Camila， 你好 Emmanuel， 不知道你的中文名字。我是思思e muito legal hoje a tema. Eu acho que é uma tema muitíssimo importante, não só na China, né? Acho que no Brasil, em outros países também. E especialmente na China, quando, infelizmente, muitos estrangeiros, quando falam China, pensam muito tem muito poluição na China, né? Então, hoje a primeira palavra a gente vai aprender como falar poluição em chinês. 污染 污染 né? Sim, isso é um fato, mas tem muitos projetos acontecendo, né, para combater a poluição na China, inclusive o projeto do Emmanuel. E eu acredito que vai falar bastante sobre isso nesse live. Só queria falar mais uma coisa do governo chinês. Eu não sei se todo mundo sabe, o governo chinês tem um projeto chama como se disse? Tira das plantações e voltar para a floresta. Então, em chinês seria 退耕还林. 退 é devolver e 耕 é de plantação. 还 退 na verdade, 还 é devolver, 退 é tipo tirar, né? Então seria devolver as terras de plantação para lin, que é floresta. 退耕还林 é uma política na China. Então é isso, boa live, bye bye, 再见.
Got it, Emma?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, it's reforestation. It's a part of our BOOMI forest initiative. So we donate actually 8.8% of our revenue to planting trees in Inner Mongolia. That's something that we do because we want to make people believe that they purchase a product that they use every day and they know that that product helped reforestation in Inner Mongolia. So since we've started, we've donated around 5,600 trees, if I'm not mistaken. And all that money has come from the consumers supporting us all these years. So that was, I think, what she was referring to. I didn't understand her Portuguese because I don't speak Portuguese, but I'm assuming that's what she meant.
Oh, great. I have a question for you, Emma. You told earlier in the show, you told our investors. So I want to know what kind of investment have you already received, and how the VC industry is looking at the topic sustainability.
So the current investments we have is mainly seed, pre-A, and we have an angel investor. So right now we are currently on our next stage of investments for our A round. And the one thing we always get is it's too early. We always get, oh, it's too early. Oh, it's too early. The other thing that we get is sustainability really the next trend? Because we have to find VCs and funds that are more long-term looking than short-term. And in China, VCs are quite short-term compared to the West. So right now, a lot of the investors that we're trying to target are in the West. But the problem with that is that sometimes the funds in the West might not understand the entire ecosystem here in China. For example, when we say we have a WeChat mini program, they're like, what is that? Can you send us your website? And we're like, well, in China, we don't really use a website as much. So we have some problems there as well. So that's kind of like some of the issues that we've gotten. I've gotten a lot of no's purely because it's too early.
Great.
Emma, oh, sorry, go ahead.
You go.
Okay. Now, I just was to ask, when you guys call this life the booming market, the next booming market, booming means what exactly? What you thinking in terms of adoption? You thinking about terms of making money, because in the sense when we think about sustainability, consuming less also means being more sustainable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that means maybe having less sales, less revenue. I don't know if that's the right way to think about that as well. And actually, my question would be, do we have another business model for sustainability that is not only selling product?
So yes, sustainability does arise from a reduction of consumerism. But how I see it is that I'm trying to replace all of the things that you use every single day in your life, in your household. So for example, just the simple things like your cotton for your bed, like the cotton covers for your bed. Where are they made from? Were they made by a child in Bangladesh? Were they recycled cotton? Is it organic cotton? Did it use pesticides? How did it get to you? Did it arrive from Bangladesh all the way to the UK, to the US, to Brazil, for example? How do you know that? So for us, it's not actually to increase consumption, it's actually to decrease people's consumption, but to switch them around from the unsustainable options to the more sustainable options. So in that case, because the industry in China in sustainability is still so small, we can 10x and still be considered as a sustainable brand because we've removed many of the people that have been buying all these bad products and now are buying more of these locally made, sustainable and eco-friendly products. So that's kind of like how I see it for the booming part of the industry. And another business model, I'm not too sure. In terms of another business model for this, we use a commission base for our business. We also have our own products that we make. We are also starting to enter the food and beverage industry. So that one, we're trying to change the business model a little bit. So we are actually trying to work with 8,000 indigenous farmers here in China. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to do a direct farm-to-table business model where people living here in China can have direct access to non-GMO, sustainable, and eco-friendly vegetables and fruits. So that we are trying to change the business model of the regular supermarkets and things like that.
Great. Emma, another question. You mentioned earlier that when you arrived in China, you were working with a blockchain, right? How can you connect what you just mentioned about the traceability of the product during the whole chain with the blockchain technology? How do you see these two things working together?
And that's actually how I see it for my future development is I am going to implement blockchain technology into the verification and the safety of the information of where all the products are sourced and manufactured from. So my idea is that in the future, consumers can scan every single product and they can see the entire supply chain and all that information will be stored on the blockchain. And you can see exactly this product was made from Zhejiang in this factory, manufactured, then delivered to where. Then it's from there, it goes to your own apartment, and you can actually see the CO2 levels, the water expend, how much water you use, how much energy you use. Full transparency for the consumers to see their true impact in the environment on all the things that they purchase. But this is something that I'm planning to do maybe in 8 or maybe 9 years. I still need to build the foundational ecosystem first.
Emma, would you like to share with us which are some of the brands which one maybe perform better in your? I'm not sure if you're able to say, but in your platform, and two, maybe the brands that have like the greater potential or that have like the coolest type of proposals to the consumers.
Yeah. So
excellent.
Right now we come. I have to check. So we mainly cover personal hygiene, household products, beauty, food, some furnitures. What else is there? I don't remember 100% anymore. Yeah, so we have education, beauty, fashion, personal care, accessories, home products like kitchenware, food and beverage, and kids. So the things that are most popular right now are, of course, personal care, beauty, and home appliances, home accessories, mainly because we do have a lot of women on our platform. We have 80% women buyers. I don't know why the men are not buying. We're trying to work that out somehow. So that is also why the team, for some reason, women are more connected to sustainability than us men. So my team is actually, I think, like 85% women, because I try to find people that are passionate about sustainability first, and then experiences and everything second. So we have a lot of women on the team. And the biggest potential I see is actually fashion. I think fashion industry has the biggest potential, because also in China, there's this, the Gen Z as well, and my generation, I guess the millennial generation, we like to stand out. A lot of the Chinese, they like to stand out. They like to be unique somehow. And the way to be unique is to have unique pieces. And that's a very sustainability focused concept. So I think fashion has a huge upside. We're not in it as much yet. We only have a couple of brands that are on our platform for that. The other huge upside, I think, which will be the biggest one in the coming future, is the food and beverage industry for sustainability. So like Beyond Meat, Zero, the plant-based meats are very, very popular here in China. Health is a huge issue. Health and well-being is a big topic here in China because of COVID. Many of us have been staying at home. Not anymore. I've seen it kind of decrease after COVID hasn't really been a big issue here in China. But I think those two are our next targets at the moment that we're trying to get into and be more present in.
Very interesting. Super interesting. So if people go into your website right now, will they be able to see the products, or do we have to have the mini program to be able to access the brands and the categories you sell?
Excuse me? I got cut off a little bit.
No, if we are able to see these products and categories in the website, or if it's only by using the mini program that we're able to access them.
Yeah, all of them is all on the mini program.
By the way, the website is on the screen right now.
Yeah, and you can see the QR code that goes to our mini program, and
perfect.
Most of the things are there.
Super.
So if you want to access, it's boomiplatform.com, so you can check it out directly.
And then you scan and you go to the mini program. And the mini program is quite complete. It's super complete. So you can see all the brands that they work with, the proposals of the products, how they're sustainable. It's in its essence. Very creative products, which I'd never imagined had such a, like The Last Object, Luna, which is like we have Nude. We have, there's so many different projects. And so, and inside and in the fair that was promoted by BOOMI in the 11/11. Many of them were there as well, and so you have different types of products to access and to be in touch with and test these types of products before buying them, all with a sustainable proposal. Very, very interesting. I hadn't seen the website. I only use the mini program, so this is new to me.
Yeah. The website is only for people outside of China if they want
It's
to
for
know
the
more
West.
about us. Yeah. Yeah, we don't really use
Great.
websites here.
Great, great. Let me stop sharing here. Okay, so guys, we're almost 10 p.m. here in Brazil. I want to thank Emma for being with us. It was amazing, great topic, and I think we have a lot of things to learn about it, and especially in China. And here at A Hora da China, we're always trying to bring a fresh and how do you say in my company here, StartSe, is the knowledge of the now. It's knowledge, not knowledge, it's knowledge. So what's happening right now in China. So it's very, very interesting and very relevant. So I would like to thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, Camila, for bringing Emma to the talk. So if you want to make a final message for the Brazilian audience, please, it's all yours. You can.
My final, me?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was her. So my final message is, the message that I always try to preach in every speech or every talk that I do is that the consumer has the power to make the change. I think from the website, there was this quote by Robert Swan, OBE. That was the quote that inspired me to also start the company is the biggest threat to our planet is the belief that somebody else will save it. And I truly believe that, because if we're just stagnant, we're just waiting for somebody else to do it, we're all going to die, and we're not going to be able to live here on the planet. So I really believe in that quote. That is the quote that my company lives by. A lot of the people in my company are still young, quite inexperienced, but we really believe if we're not going to do it, who else will do it? And remember that your money is actually a strong voting right to which companies you support. So if you're living in Brazil, I'm sure there are brands out there that are supporting sustainability. So choose your money wisely, choose your vote wisely, because that money going to a certain company is kind of like saying, I vote for you, or I support what you do. So I really believe that the consumers have the power, and I hope this kind of inspired you to make that change to help your own local businesses.
Great quote. Thank you, Camila. Please, your final message. Mute.
Sorry. So once again, we've been doing 39th edition, right? I still don't get my microphones right. So thank you, Emmanuel, so much for being here. Thank you, Giovanna, as well for the introduction and the approach. I'm not sure if you're watching, but later on, if you do, thank you so much. I couldn't agree more, guys. It's so interesting. Everyone that has WeChat, please look at the BOOMI mini program. It's super interesting. There are brands with concepts I had never ever heard of. And so I find this very interesting every time I get in different categories and different things that I can learn about the environment. And my last message, which is aligned to what Emmanuel was saying, is little changes, right? About habits, the things that we were talking about, habits. Sometimes you don't realize how much little changes have the power of exponentializing some more sustainable actions across the world. If you do a bid, but then all the other 7 billion, let's talk a billion. If all the other billion do a tiny bit, that will already have a huge impact in everything that we're doing. And going back to what people have the power. Push your companies. Push the companies to be more sustainable. Be conscious about your choices. I do think that we're getting to a point where it's not about being. It's not a good to have. It's a must to have. Companies have to have a positive impact on society. ESG is a great platform from which different types of corporations have been working upon. And so keep pushing that. That is very important for the world, for yourselves, and for the future. There's no future if there's no sustainability.
Strong, Camila. Very, very good. Ian, your turn.
Yeah, thank you, Emma, for accepting our invitation. It's great to hear what you're doing there. Incredible work. Congratulations. And I think the phrase that you have at your website connects very well with what I want to say, is that we are learning from what you're doing. We're exchanging ideas. We're telling some, not exactly right, some of the things that we are doing in Brazil. But in the end, we all live in the same planet. So in the end, we need to somehow connect all the initiatives, because what we do here in Brazil affects you in China, vice versa, and the entire planet. So this is something that we'll eventually need to think together to work in the benefit to the whole planet. So thank you for joining us, for sharing all this knowledge, and congratulations again, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for inviting. I hope everyone learned something today.
Great, for sure. Emma, thank you once again. And I'm going to switch to Portuguese just to finish. Então, pessoal, obrigado por terem acompanhado aí. Acho que foi um tema super bacana, interessante, super importante para a gente criar cada vez mais consciência e awareness, né, sobre o tema. E claro que tem vários aspectos que tocam tecnologia. A gente falou um pouco sobre a relação do blockchain com toda essa questão da sustentabilidade. É o começo de uma jornada, o começo de um processo, e com certeza a China vai liderar esse caminho nos próximos anos. Então, a gente espera poder assistir em primeira mão aqui e trazer para vocês através aqui um pouco da Hora da China. Então, muito obrigado pela participação de todos. Mais uma Hora da China Go Global. Semana que vem a gente volta à programação normal em português e esperamos todos vocês na próxima terça-feira, 21 horas, na Hora da China. Valeu, grande abraço e até semana que vem. Tchau, tchau.